Yo, what's going on, guys? Got you guys today. Jaden Rodriguez, a college hitter turned pitcher who went from literally throwing mid 80s when he started pitching in his career to then topping 90. But without further ado, I'm not really about to steal the spotlight from him. Jaden, what's going on, man? Tell
How
all
you
the
doing,
people
man?
who you are.
Well, I'm Jaden Rodriguez. I'm a 2027 grad in college, sophomore, Limestone University. Outfield turned PO in the past year or so, but just great transition. Just happy to be here.
Cool, man. Cool. So obviously, like that transition is not always easy. Going from a hitter to a pitcher standpoint is definitely a lot of like, whoa, like what the hell is this? Like it's a whole new different movement. So if you can speak more of like kind of like how was that transition for you? Where were you before we really started working together?
Well, I was a senior in high school. No commits, no nothing. I was still an outfielder. Wasn't even a pitcher yet. Then thankfully God gave me the opportunity to get a scholarship to go as a two-way to Limestone University, a D2 in South Carolina. And first fall, I was expected to be outfielder, mainly a relief guy out of the pen who could also just hit sometimes. But as the season went on, the coaches, just nudging me as a pitcher, and I was like, okay. I just gave in. I dropped the bat. Just said, I know what my future holds for me. Just became a PO. And at this point, I really had no knowledge of pitching. Didn't have any really good bases as how to pitch, how to throw hard, what my mechanics were. I was just an outfielder who threw hard and sometimes threw strikes. So, and then I just thugged it out for 6, 7 months on my own, just trying this, trying that. Didn't know how sometimes I'll hit 82, sometimes I'll hit 87. And I just wouldn't know what I'll be doing that day. And that's where I seeked out for any type of help I could get. And thankfully, my boy right here, we thankfully he came in clutch.
No, for sure. What was obviously you didn't really know what you were doing. So like once you got into the program, like what did we start working on right away?
First we just broke down my mechanics, like how my body moved and how my body was efficient. Because of course I was an outfielder, so my body is used to being on the move, being like in the prep step, 1, 2, janitor throw to home, whatever. So we're just breaking down those mechanics and then really trying to implement those that same aggression with my body into the stationary pitcher motion. So we did a lot of. I know we started off with a lot of pull downs, just seeing how my body synchronized in a pull down and try to translate that into stationary. So we just broke it down bit by bit. It was the upper half, then lower half, then mid half, meaning your hips and stuff like that. And just seeing what my body felt good doing and what it didn't work, what it didn't like.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously the way that we kind of determine those things is not just like, well, just like kind of like look at it from a mechanical standpoint, but you were ran through two different assessments. So one is the integrated movement assessment. So like finding out how your body is moving as a whole. So obviously this is where I introduce you to like different muscle synergies and your motor preference like kind of assessment where like we found out how your body prefers to move. So I know you weren't really like ever assessed with those things. So what was your experience like with that? Like how did that help you?
I mean, at first I was like, nah, this isn't a real thing. Like just everybody is whatever works in the sport. I was ignorant. I didn't really give it much mind. I knew that some people did things better, but I didn't really know the science behind it. And then, you did the assessments of all my friends around me. I'm like, huh, he's different than that, but he still hits the same way. What's going on? So then we did the assessment and I found out, oh, I'm a terrestrial. Uh my dial is my feet. I know where my foot is strongest, where it lands, where I feel most compact. And then once we did that whole assessment, I was like, oh, it just really just changed my way of doing things, even outside of baseball. Just like, oh, if I do this, I'm gonna feel better. If I do that, I'm gonna feel worse. Just it really opened my mind up to different things, like what my body really was trying to tell me on and off the field.
Yeah, it's motor preferences is definitely like different. I can definitely speak even to the sense like when you were feeling, because on the movement dial you were 1 and 2 on the heels for you, right? So like once like you will feel that heel land like from the hips firing on like to feel the front foot heel land, that's when you will literally start the rest of the rotation. So like that was something that you were big on. You were like, yo, if I feel this heel like land, like I gotta go right away.
Yeah.
So definitely. So where are you right now, man? In sense of like performance based, like what are the milestones that we've covered and how do you feel right now?
Well, right now, I feel very confident where I'm at. I think I'm definitely not the same person who I was 4 or 5 months ago. I love telling people that. I love telling my coaches like, "Oh, I remember when you did this, this, and this." I'm like, "No, that's not me anymore." I'm like, "No, I don't do that anymore, coach." And he's like, "Okay." So, it's cool to see that impression on people that they see that now you're a whole different type of player. Like you know what you're doing, especially me from a position player who never threw a ball on the mound to someone who, if you give him the mound, he's gonna dominate. Like I know what I'm doing. I know how to make adjustments. If I feel something off, I know right away what to do, what to, just step back, analyze myself. Okay, heel strike. My left heel was a little wobbly. I know I gotta get into my hip more. Like just the cues like that. So I'm confident mechanically and mentally. I'm way more confident. Like I know where the ball's going. I know how the ball's going to move. I know when I want to do this, when I want to do that. So just my confidence is at an all-time high right now. Like I'm not cocky, but I could confidently say I'll strike you out.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. How is your below change too? Because I know first, like coming up, like you were like somewhere in mid 80s. Like sometimes you will have some good flashes, but now like you're kind of like in a more like constrained range with top in 90, like have you have in the past. So like what exactly are you right now?
Right now I'm sitting at a calm 87 to 89, confidently that I could do that on the daily because now I stopped the guessing game. I know exactly what I'm doing. Like not before how I would be 83, 84 last week. Then next week I'm 87 to 89 just out of nowhere and I don't know what I'm doing. So now I know consistency. That's the best word to describe it. I know my body does this every single time. My body has to do this every single time. And I know what I'm going to get out of my body.
Yeah, that's really big, man. Obviously, you would forever be your best self coach. So like it's really cool that, I'm not just like teaching these things like just to teach. It's also like for you to also like be able to implement them on your own. Um and give you a lot more consistency. So obviously the way that we train it, we did a hybrid model where we would be in person for some time and then like remote for some other time. Then ever since you've been back in school, we've been remote for around a month or so.
Mhm.
So obviously that's kind of like a big difference, got kind of going from like in person to remote. So kind of like what was your interaction with remote? What do you think about it? With communication, the way that I'm able to still assess the drills, like what are we doing there? What did you think?
Well, I definitely felt confident. Well, at first I felt a little shaky because of course it's my first remote class. Well, baseball class, it's nothing like school because you guys got to stay locked in. This is something that you love, and just you gotta stay engaged at all time. That's something you do really, really well. Like even on days off, you make sure I'm getting my work in. You sending me videos, I send you videos, and within a day or two, you have a full analysis with diagrams and pictures, which is, in my opinion, my favorite part. Because me personally, I'm a visual learner, and I know most kids out there, or not even just kids, anybody's out there, who prefer pictures and reading words. So I think that's what I really liked about it. And just being in person, you know, pictures can only grab so much. So like you being there for at least 1 or 2 times during the week is more than you can ask because you can see something in a picture in real life that you don't see in a video. And then after that, you can continue the conversation and base it off that when you're not together. But like, oh, I remember when you did this, this, and this. So I'm assuming you did that here. So let's try this, this, and this. And now you have a more in-depth analysis of what is actually going on. So you're not just constrained to just a 2D picture that you see or videos that because at the end of the day, not every video is going to cover every single part of your mechanics. There's always going to be little things that you only see in person.
Mhm.
So that's what I liked. And just the remote part, it just it challenges you mentally, I like to say, but in a good way. It's just it really tests your determination and your really like your strive for the game. Like, do you really want to get there? Do you really want to do this for your career? Like, do you really want to get better? So, and if your answer is yes, then hey, you're given all the tools. You usually have to build the shed.
Yep,
That's the best way to put it.
absolutely. Obviously, in my program, you were introduced to a lot of different stuff. So, in the industry where it's mainly kind of proclaim that, oh, this is what you have to do, that, but obviously, like, to an extent, now that that's not 100% true. So in your words, what sets me different from the rest of the industry with what I do and how I help my athletes?
I mean, of course, main difference is the motor preferences. Like I said, never heard of it between my life here. I'm 19 years old and I've heard of it for a year and a half. Like I've never heard anybody work that way. I've never heard anybody speak of it. And me personally, that's what I'm studying in college too. Didn't know that existed yet. Oh, just touching that is just amazing because it opens up your eyes to a whole new world of what your body's able to do, and it opens up to a whole bunch of explanations that you've always asked yourself. Oh, why can't I do this? But he can. Why can't I do this? And he can't. So it just opens your eyes. It just opens your mind to new possibilities that your body can do, and it just gives you like a keen eye to things now, like why you do this and why you don't do that, and you have an understanding. So you just don't just put all the pressure on yourself. You just know that your body's not meant to do that. So don't do it. Find another way. There's always different ways. You just have to be strong enough to find it.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So if there's anyone that's out there kind of like looking on to obviously they want to increase their velocity, they want to pitch better, they want the recognition from their coaches, and they just don't know if I would really be, the answer to like them increasing their velocity, what would you have to say to any parent or athlete that's looking onto the fences right now?
At the end of the day, can't knock it if you don't try it. There's always everything is just a gamble, but I'm confidently say you're gonna get the work in. You're gonna get the results that you want because there's not only do you have the experience, you have the knowledge, and you have the that like charisma about you. Like you're just that type of person, you know. You know how to connect with people. Like, of course, me and you have a lot of common, being from the city, so we're a different case. But you can always find something in common with people, with it just drills or you know, just how they are. Just always find a way to make it fun and make it enjoyable.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. Obviously, like one of my biggest things, but besides like you hit on point, besides just like performance training, is just making sure that, hey, like, you're also having fun doing this,
Yeah.
like kind of like mixing in the personality, because like that's something that I've also noticed, that there's a lot of athletes out here that they can throw hard already, but they just don't throw hard because they've never had that support system. They've never
Yeah.
had that support from a coach themselves. So I think always like knowing like, man, like you can fuck up and I'm still gonna be here for you. Like it's fine. Like we're gonna figure this out together. So that's nice, man. Um, any honestly last words that you may have? I don't know whether it's to me, the program, or just anybody watching.
I mean, just again, don't knock it till you try it. The world has many options for you, and it's up to you to make the right decision. Just if you really want it, you're gonna use all your tools to get it.
Cool, cool, cool. Well, Jaden, thank you so much, man, for being on this call with me. Guys, there you have it. Jaden, college should have turned pitcher, obviously going from having inconsistencies within his fastball to then now sitting at 87, 89, top of 90. And he's literally done it. He is still doing it, and he has still got more to go from there. So the sky's really the limit for him. If you want to go ahead and do the same, go ahead and book in a call with me down below in the description, and we can definitely speak about where you are in your situation and how I can help you improve. But besides that, Jaden, thank you once more,
Of course.
and see you guys on the next one.